Hi guys, welcome to another TFT interview. Today we have a two-part series. We've got an interview from when Adam first got funded. So we did the interview because he got funded. He ended up blowing his account, but we still got that interview in. It was, I think, a year ago, and now we get to come back, almost a year later and see his progress, see how his trading has changed, see that he got a payout. So this is incredibly exciting. We'll be even showing you guys some of the clips from the first interview and the ones that we have from now. So before we get started, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and drop a comment. All right, let's get into it.
It's still a journey. Like, it's always going to be a journey. We're constantly going to have to work on ourselves, improve. Like, something's going to come around that's going to make us, have to adapt and improve and look at ourselves a little bit differently. So, this is the beginning in my eyes.
Absolutely.
I had to do a bit of work to get here, but once you get funded, that's when the real work starts.
And how exciting though, to know that, okay, yes, you put in the 3 years worth of work and you got through the psychology part of it. You got the fundamentals down. That part, like I said, I agree with you, is easy. Anybody can learn how to do that. So now it's just okay, what's next?
That's the thing. It's insane. I mean, it's a limitless journey. But like I say, it's made me take a hard look at myself in other aspects of my life as well. It's by far people look at the stuff on Instagram and they think, wow, this is great, just like I did, 3 years ago. But it's by far one of the most psychologically taxing things I've ever done.
So tell me what have I missed from our first interview, which was you just got funded. I think you blew the account. You're like, that's all right, I'm staying motivated. And now you got a payout.
Yeah. Oh, so look, it's been such a journey, obviously with, prop firms and things like that. I've blown accounts, I've continued to blow accounts. It's not, I think it's part and parcel sort of the game. The journey along the way it's been difficult. You know what I mean? It's been difficult to stay motivated. It's been difficult to stay consistent. But I think that's the biggest thing. Obviously consistency is the biggest one. So back funded again, pretty much, got 2 phase 2s at the moment as well. So we're looking good. We're looking positive. We're finding a little bit of consistency. I'm trying to get away from this whole, trying to make it all overnight kind of thing.
Yes.
So that's helping. But so at the moment, just taking it super easy, trying to get stress-free, completely remove the stress from my trading and just be consistent and be bite-sized, not try and become a millionaire and trading influencer overnight,
Right? It takes some time.
Yeah. So man, it's been interesting. It's been a lot of I still stand by everything that I obviously said in the previous interview. Trading as a whole is anyone can learn how to trade. The charts, it's simple. You put a few months into that and you're golden. You'll get away with it.
Yeah.
But the real hard work starts with us, with yourself. All the bad habits, every single one in trading, you name it, I've done it. So
me too.
I'm trying to tease all that stuff out. And I think really, if you want to go full time, which is obviously the goal long term, you have to. It's paying your school fees at the end of the day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you got to pay to play.
So as far as the strategy goes, you said you've still blown accounts since then, but now you've got a handle on as far as psychology goes. Has anything changed in your strategy, or kind of what's that like?
Yeah, definitely. So my strategy was a little bit haphazard before, and it's obviously it's constantly being refined. I was kind of trying out a lot of different little bits, try and sort of amalgamate it into one strategy, which wasn't working, obviously.
Yeah.
So what I've done now is I've just narrowed everything down. So everything's pretty focused. It's pretty clean cut. I only watch one index at the moment. I've moved away from the Forex pairs. So it's one index, it's one strategy, and just wait, rinse and repeat. That's really it. So I actually, one of my phase 2, so as I mentioned, I've got 2 phase 2s on the go at the moment with the rapid challenge. So in addition to my 50K funded. So those are going well. The one I actually only started this morning, and I can actually walk you through exactly what I did because I passed the phase 1 today. So that was great.
Hell yeah.
It was Yeah, so it was good. And it shows pretty much the type of strategy that I have been using and I'm going to continue to use because I think it's got a bit of an edge. It, brings like simple indicators and things into the play, but like it's very clear. And I think that going forward, this is what I'm going to build on.
Oh my God, that's so exciting.
take all my trades exactly this way.
All right. Yeah. Can we get into it? You want to do some screen sharing?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So,
man, how amazing though to finally like have that peace of mind to where you're like, okay, I've got one index and I got one strategy and we're making this work.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's literally everything after that is pretty much just, how do you stick to that?
Yeah, right.
So that's the real battle.
Yes. Yeah. And I keep it just as simple too. And the craziest thing about my trading this month specifically, like since I've now gained like this following on social media, I've got new things that I have to work out now. Now I've got people telling me that like I'm trading incorrectly. And now I'm like, wait, am I trading incorrectly? And I'm like, maybe I need to step away because I know what I'm doing here, but it's when you bring
but see, I think you got to block out the noise. That's half the battle. You know what I mean? It's like that's one of the biggest things is finding a way to like remove the stress from your trading, block out all the noise, like make your day-to-day stress free. Like I mentioned, I'm pretty much trading one index only, so I'm concentrating completely on the Dow Jones at the moment. I don't see that changing. Like I like its volume, I like the kind of setups. It can be very choppy and volatile at times, but it's about learning when to stay out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
At the moment, like today was a crazy day. We actually had a massive move, which
I watched it happen.
Yeah, so managed to get in on that one. So it was great. But yeah, I'll pretty much walk you through the trade, why I took it, how I'm going to approach all my trades from now on, and I'll show the account, for the benefit of whoever. They can see exactly what I did, how I did it, justification behind it.
Yeah.
And then we'll pretty much take it from there.
Cool. Let's do it.
So I have marked out like major key levels, which is the first thing that I'll do pretty much, that doesn't change. You only really have to do it once, like, because you've got your major key levels. Like if you look on the 4 hour, we had a massive range here between these two levels for like days and days and days, which I'm sure if you were watching this pair, you would have seen it was an extremely frustrating time to trade.
Incredibly.
So we had a bit of frustration between here and here. Let's put it that way. But we eventually broke out of that. And so we've still got those as key levels. You can see when you zoom out. I pretty much like to look like I'll look at the daily for reference for market structure. But I pretty much like to look from the 4 hour down generally. So we can see we finally broke out of the range, got our way up, became a little swap zone there, got up new level here at around 33882. Managed to have a big push here where everyone was crying for bulls and everyone thought the bull market was back and we're all saved and everything's going to be great. So now we see what's actually happening. Essentially today's trade, I've sort of been watching this area since yesterday's big drop. So you can see on the daily, had a massive drop there right down to today, essentially. I don't know why it's not showing my full day there, but we're around about here at the moment.
Yeah, that's weird.
So anyway, back to the 4 hours. So this was pretty much yesterday's from say there to there. And I had my zone at this area. This zone's been marked out for a week because it was that swap zone that I was talking about earlier, pretty much that one. So initially I was looking at buys over here because if you look down on the hour, we've got if you're looking purely at supply and demand, we've got a nice indecision there, massive leg out, like it's a good key level, volume's all been traded at this area. So initially was kind of looking at buys, but then yesterday when it was hanging around there so much, I still kind of half had a bias towards a buy at some point today. And I'll walk you through it when I go through the account itself, but so you'll see a couple buys in there as well. So don't be put off by that, but I'll explain my logic behind it as well. But essentially what I want to go through here and the thing that's like changed my trading for me is these indicators that I'm using. So it's through a company called Cluster Delta, and it's basically like an order flow software. So they've got a number of great indicators along the side here, which show very simple things, real-time information in terms of the volume traded. So you can see your market profile here so it pretty much looks like this. You can see you're looking at a volume profile. So this is your daily traded volume. You can look at daily, across a couple of days, across the week, whatever. So like we can see there, just looking at the market profile, this area here is your point of control. So that's essentially the highest traded volume. You can see like the week's volume, 99% of the week's volume is traded at this level. So we know we've got good action here. That this is the key area. So if something big is going to happen, it's going to happen from here. So that's pretty much my first focus. So after I look at my market
neat.
structure, see which way we're going down, keep my supply and demand in mind. But then this will be the first thing that I look at. Where is the most traded volume? So generally I'll look at it a day. So even you can see there on the daily, it's the same level. So the daily matches up nicely to the week, which is great from my point of view, because I can see then, right, okay, we've got something big building here. So there's going to be a massive push. So let's look for the others now. So that's a handy one. The next one again, from plus to delta is this imbalance, which you can see here, these little bubbles that I've got going over here.
Okay.
So essentially what that is, it just shows me where there's an imbalance buyers and sellers, across a couple of days. So like I've got it on for 5 days and see there, it tells you the price, it tells you the imbalance. So, that's, sorry, my wife, I must have been bad there.
No, you're good.
Yeah, so it shows you where all the imbalances are. So it allows me to pick up like on other key levels. And then the next one, which is great for actually taking your entries. And again, it's all by the same company. This little footprint tool that I've got here. I'll show you an example of it once I explain the trade that I took in a little bit more detail. So I'll show you the account first, so you can see like where I was going and what my thinking was. Because as I mentioned, I had a couple buys, and so you can see when it was sort of hovering around this area, we had like this was before sort of what is like 1 o'clock, 1:30 my time, which is around say 7:30 in the US. We were kind of breaking through this little range that we had made for ourselves between these two levels here. So I was interested in this area because obviously we've got the high trade volume over here. We've broken through, and I was kind of thinking to myself, right, okay, we might be looking at a buy. We might come back, retest this little area here. So on a smaller time frame, come back, retest, and then push up.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of buy that I was looking for. It did happen when the news came in. So the core retail sales, that pushed everything up. But then what I was seeing here was this little imbalance, which you can see we've had previous reactions at it. It just wasn't making it through there.
Yes.
So it wasn't giving me the trade that I was looking for. Like I was trying to hold for a bigger trade. So whilst I made a bit on this one, it just wasn't breaking that area. So that kind of caused me to look at it a little bit more. And then when this little imbalance came, then I knew that we were primed for a sell.
All right.
So I can show you the account just on the dashboard there. Okay, so this is just 50K rapid. Said I'd have a go. Like the look of the market today. So it says, I don't know why it says I've only placed 4 trades, because I actually placed, I think, 6. So that maybe just hasn't updated. I don't know. But essentially, I got, you can see the buys I kind of made in the beginning.
Right.
So, I was there. I got one out. This was earlier in the morning. I kind of broke my rules on this one a little bit, which, it happens when you feel like you've got nothing to lose. So one of my main rules at the moment is not to trade around my morning over here in Dublin. So it's pretty much, in the hours, like I'll only be looking pretty much from like 7 in the US till, whenever, but like only from 1 o'clock, say 7 o'clock in the US morning, only trade from there, because it's super low volume.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Morning.
I do the same. Yeah. Same with oil's volatility is about the same too. It's just, if it's not around like the New York session, essentially, it's just, there's not a whole lot going on.
Yeah, exactly. So, like I've frustrated myself so many times over trying to put something on in the morning because I thought that it looks good, but then, it doesn't play by the same rule of time. So I've kind of abandoned that, but, broke one of my rules here. But anyway, so these were morning trades. This was when I got up to that level that I showed you previously of that imbalance. So this is when it wasn't really breaking through. So I had a couple buys, it wasn't breaking through. So I took a little sell just back down, directly after the news. And we sort of had a lot of volatility there. So, had another punt at the buy. And then that was just before I saw little sellers imbalance form, which when I go back to the charts, I'll show you again. But so pretty much put a trade on once that imbalance formed. And then, like I'd like to say I passed it in one trade, but, obviously there was trades that preceded that. But, essentially one trade from start to finish in terms of the percentages that I needed.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, I was like $12 short, and then I had to put on a 0.1 to get it up. Look, anyway.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's pretty much that. That was a nice, quick, phase 1 in the bag. So it's not exactly like, again, when I say I'm still falling victim to these bad habits, because at the end of the day, like if you look at the lot sizes that I was using, this was either going to be, I was using up my whole daily loss limit if this trade was going to go wrong. If if I was going to give it the right breathing, unless I was going to like exit early. And this is another problem that I'm still dealing with, kind of the micromanaging of trades. You know, I'll set a stop loss, you know, which if I'm happy with it, I should just walk away. So like I'll set my, say, $2,250 stop loss, for example, you know, which is obviously what I'm allowed to lose for the day on a 50K, which really, in essence, I shouldn't, if I'm playing by my own rules, I shouldn't have stop loss. But see, I place that stop loss to give my trade the room, but then the problem that I'm having is micromanage. So I stay on, I'll watch. If it creeps up to like, you know, see there, for example, 1,000, I don't actually want to lose the 2,250.
Right. See, yeah.
So these are where the bad habits creep in, and where they're constantly showing themselves. So it's constant struggle, you know, with psychology to balance your psychology and your trading, because it's just, it is so easy at the end of the day to get the settings right. But if you're sitting in front of micromanaging trades, it's really not the right way to do it. So we had a positive outcome here, but this is a stressful way of trading for the same kind of result that you get. Just mark up your areas, you know.
Yes, and leave it. That's one of the hardest things. I mean, it takes the discipline and the confidence and security of your strategy to be like, okay, this is my stop loss. This is what it's going to be. I don't care what happens. I'm not looking at it. I'm not moving it. This is it. It's tricky. I know. I've been there too. It's just when you're watching it, it's just tricky. Micromanaging is,
you know, and and you just add in unnecessary stress into your life, you know, like
exactly.
You're gonna like, if you're watching every second of the chart, you're going to second guess. And, you know, then it's like you say, like with people messaging you, it's the same kind of thing, you know, except you're putting all that self-doubt yourself. It's not the way to trade. So like I say, there's still kinks in the strategy, and there's kinks in the way that we're approaching. But, you know, we're all work in progress. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Amen. Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, this is incredible. So to see kind of your progress from when we had our first interview to now, essentially you've just got this really, really simplified strategy. You're down to just one instrument, and now it's just a matter of, you know, kicking the bad habits and getting that psychology right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. 100%. Like, you know, I realized that because I was, you know, trying to do this strategy and that strategy, and my head was all over the place. You know, and like I said, I banged about it enough first to do, like, psychology is such a big part of it. So, you know, like I really wanted to focus on trying to clean the charts up. Like I'm a big believer in like a clean chart. I do think that there's certain indicators that will help you, but overall, like, you know, you need to have a clean chart, clean space. And I've seen you talk about it as well. It's psychology behind colors, all those types of things. Like they all play a part, you know, like if I really wanted to dumb it down, I'd just make everything black and white, like, you know, easy, clean lines.
Absolutely.
And then off you go. So yeah, trying to focus on the one strategy, the one pair, or the one index rather. And at the moment, it seems to be having positive results. But yeah, it's clear as day that the biggest problem is with ill discipline, lack of consistency, trying to make it all overnight. So those are where the real struggle.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Yeah.
All right, then I would say to sign it off, kind of let everybody know your payout, and the next one would be kind of just some advice that you have for traders.
Yeah. Okay. So like the payout, like I said, I'm focusing a little bit on consistency at the moment. So instead of, you know, because we've had instances here now, like even since I've been TFT and before when I was with other prop firms, like I managed to get funded, but I wasn't able to keep it. So at the moment, I'm just focusing on consistency. I'm pretty much aiming for predominantly take the rapid challenges. So I'm pretty much aiming for around 1% per payout.
Okay.
So, you know, for every 14-day period, I'm in for 5. So, you know, it's been good. It's been consistent. So, you know, I'm averaging about $1,000 a month on the 50K. And then obviously I'm going to be scaling that up as I put in the challenges. Now, you know, it's been working for me. That's the best way that I find the consistency. I'm very much part-time trader still. So, you know, I'm not trying to, before I was trying to make 10K a month, you know, 15K a month.
Right.
This wasn't working for me. I ended up putting more money into, you know, my trading than I was actually taking out. So, you know, it's that old saying my dad always used to say, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, you know? So that's the kind of approach that I'm taking towards the payout.
Absolutely.
Just trying to make consistent money. So yeah, I've got another one coming up on Tuesday, 1%. I hit my 1% goal and then I just pretty much stopped trading.
That's fair.
So, you know, it's this time I hit it in 2 trades. So, you know, that's the way I do it. It's been helping me to, like, again, remove the stress out of my environment, remove the stress out of my trading. So yeah, that's what's working for me, and it will scale. And then I might change the approach slightly. I might push for 2% once I'm a little bit more comfortable in, you know, the amount of funding that I have. So yeah, that's what we got lined up for the next week. So it's been relatively stress-free, you know.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. It sounds like it.
Yeah, it has been. Now, in terms of advice, like, look, it pretty much, it ties into what I said and how I've sort of adapted the approach. Like, the technicals are easy. So my advice is reduce the watch list, clean up your charts. just stick to one strategy, make it simple. Your discipline, like I can't stress that enough. I probably, probably one of the same pieces of advice I gave in the first one, and it's probably my biggest struggle. Discipline. Like if you want to see how you're going to be in the future, show me your daily, because that's what gets you there.
Absolutely.
So discipline's a big one, working on your psychology, and just take breaks, reduce the stress in your trading environment. Like it's a long game. It's a really long game. And if we want longevity in it, if we want to make the jump to full time and all that type of thing, which I'm sure is the goal for most traders, I don't think I've met a trader who comes along and says, I kind of do this for fun.
Yeah.
Not really interested in making money.
No.
Remove the stress, find a way to like integrate it into your daily life. So it's not affecting your relationships constantly behind the screen. Like it's not taking over all your time, and your heart rate's not rising every time you get into a trade. So have a routine, stick to it, and just don't look for the dopamine hits. Trading is a long game, and it should be boring. If you're doing it right, it should be boring.
Absolutely. I could not have said that better. Awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time out. And this was, to be honest, this is the only one that I've done a 2-part with. So I'm excited about it.
Look, it's positive. It shows that I'm sticking around.
Exactly.
Maybe we'll have another part in the next quarter.
Hey, yeah, you get another payout. We'll do it again.
All right. Listen, it was good to chat with you.
Yeah, you too, Adam. We'll see you later.
Right. See you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you guys so much for watching this interview. If you liked it, don't forget to hit that like button, drop a comment, hit the bell for notifications, and if you're not already, hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for watching.